I want every one of you to switch on your video and also let me know what are the things that you have prepared. Yesterday I have announced. Shubham Chakraborty, have you prepared anything for presentation as I have explained?
Yes, ma'am.
What you have prepared, what is the topic? Very good. What you have prepared?
I have prepared on FCFS.
Very good. Very good. So without any delay, start explaining. You can share your screen and you can start explaining.
Can
See
I
whether,
stop the video?
yes, stop there. No need. See whether you are able to share the screen or I have to give some permission. I don't know. Wait. Can you share
No,
your
ma'am. Can't.
no? Ask to start.
No.
What? How I should give the permission? Does anyone know? Ask to start video. Is it that? No. So how? Allow record rename. Does anyone know how to give okay, share screen? Now see, Shubham, whether you are able to share screen.
Yes, ma'am. Able to do.
Yes. Now share your screen and tell me. Others stay muted.
So FCFS is basically first come first serve module, which is a CPU scheduling. So which will be scheduling. It is a main basically a scheduling algorithm. You see, which in this algorithm basically the CPU processes the jobs according to which order they are assigned to, and this FCFS process is completely single queue, and mainly the importance given is basically to the jobs are given through its arrival time. And the main drawback of this scheduling system is the waiting time of the jobs are too long. So here is an example of FCFS. You see that suppose we are having four processes, P2, P4, P3 and P1. You can see that the arrival time of P1 is very at first, which is 2 seconds, suppose. And you can see, but the wait time of P2 is 1, which is 1 second, and it means that the P1 is executed at first. You can see. Then then we have the arrival. Sorry, I'm sorry. Just a moment. Sorry. P2 has the arrival time of 0. I'm sorry. P2 has came first, and you can see that, and P2 have completed its job at first. You can see at 3 seconds. Then we have an arrival of P1, which is of 2 seconds, and it has completed its job after 5 seconds. Similarly, we have P4 and P3. So basically, this is mainly a first come first serve. So you can see that the whichever process has arrived at first, it has occurred at first, and whichever process after that, it is occurring at respective orders. So I hope it is clear. Hello, ma'am.
Can you explain? Are you able to hear, Shubham?
Yes, ma'am. I am able to hear you.
Can you explain what is the waiting time and what is the turnaround time?
Sure, ma'am. Waiting time is basically the uh, wait time for every process. Suppose I am processing a job, and you have suppose I am processing a job and you have been assigned a waiting time of 3 seconds, means some other time, some other job is running before that. So I am having a wait. like in queue system, like we wait for our queues, right? And turnaround processing time is the total amount spent by the job job or the process in the system.
Okay. Okay. Anything more you want to say, or someone want to ask any question? They can.
No, ma'am, I have nothing to say anymore, as of now, at least.
Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes, yes, yes.
May I start? Hello, ma'am.
Yes, you can explain.
Ma'am, my topic is dining philosopher problem. It's this problem is formulated in 1965 by Exert Dijkstra. Here the problem is the dining philosopher problem states that K philosophers seated around a circular table with one chopstick between each pair of philosophers. There is a one chopstick between each philosophers. Philosopher may eat if he can pick up two chopsticks adjacent to him. It is the problem of this dining philosopher problem. And the solution here, the solution is a philosopher must be allowed it to pick up the chopstick only if both the left and right chopsticks are available. Only they can eat the meal. And another one is allow only 4 philosophers to sit at the table. That way, if all the 4 philosophers pick up one chopsticks, there will be one chopstick left on the table. This is 2 solutions for this problem. And the structure of a random philosopher and its program is, we will consider chopsticks as a semaphore. So at first we will wet the chopsticks, then Then if we consider chopsticks as I, then chopstick I plus 1 module by 5. Then when the one philosopher started eating the rice, then signal will come chopstick I and then chopstick I plus 1 module by 5. Then thinking. It's finished, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, shall I? Ma'am, I'm going to explain round robin algorithm today. Ma'am, robin schedule is a CPU scheduling algorithm. In this, some of the processes enters the CPU with some values with some process times. each, each process are given a time quantum. Sorry, ma'am, just a minute. In this process, each process are given a time quantum, a time lapse in between which the process have to complete its process. This process follows the rule of FCFS, first come first serve basis. So the first in process will be executed first, and then as the time slice get completed of that process time, it will be executed in the end of the process. It will get shifted to the end, and if it is terminated, then the process will uh, get ended. So how this process works, let me explain this. And ma'am, the very basic rule for this is a preemptive process. Without completing the process, this scheduling can get jump to another process. So this is also a preemptive process. So how this process works is, let's think that the first process P1 enters with a burst time of 21. Similarly, P2 enters with a burst time of 3, then P3 with burst time of 6, P4 with a burst time of 2 seconds. So how this process works is, first the person will get a, as in this process, the time slice or the time quantum, which is Q, is 5 for each process. So the first process will enter the CPU first, and it will execute for first 5 seconds, and then it will go on a waiting list. Then as it went to the waiting list, the process will preempt to the process 2, and as the process 2 is of only 3 seconds, the process 2 will execute and complete itself. Then after completing the process P2, it will jump to the process P3 and it will execute. As P3 execution or the burst time is 6, it will execute for first 5 seconds, and again it will go to the waiting list. Then the scheduling jumps to the P4, and P4 will execute. As its burst time is 2 seconds, it will execute for 2 seconds and get terminated. Then again, the process will jump to P1, as the leftover process will continue. It will again continue for 5 seconds and it will again jump to P3, uh, and the leftover process of P3, which is only 1 second, it will execute that. And after terminating the P3 process, it will again go to the P1 and complete the P1 process, whatever is left in 5 seconds slice of times. So this is how round robin works. There are some advantages and disadvantages of round robin. The advantages of round robin are, the CPU is the CPU in this process, as it is a CPU based process, it don't have to wait because it is preemptive. It can jump to any of the process anytime. It do not suffer from starvation and any other process waiting things. Then it is as FCFS, so the algorithm or the time quantum is have a better response time. Okay, and the disadvantages of this are, as this process depends upon the time quantum, the whole process depends on the better we choose the time quantum, the better the process will execute. If we choose a low time quantum, then as I have shown in the last slide, as if we choose a large time quantum, it will execute as a FIFO, first in first out, as the process will get terminated in first 5, as the process is of 21 seconds and the time quantum is of 30 seconds. So it will complete the first process and get to the second process after that. So it will completely become the FIFO process, or the FCFS scheduling process. Whatever process the process will come first, it will execute first and then it will exit. And if the process, if the time quantum is very small, then it will have to switch more than one time, or many times, which will overhead, or it will become the process too high or overheading, which will lead to low response time and other problems. So this is how robin round robin scheduling works. Thank you, ma'am.
Good, good, Suraj, good. All of you have presented very well. I am very happy. And Suraj, your presentation was also good. Thank you, Shubham, and thank you, Shankalita. Good.
Thank you,
That
ma'am.
means all
Ma'am,
of you are.
yes, ma'am. I am having some issues with the
Round robin scheduling,
average
right?
time calculation. Yes, ma'am. Average time calculations.
Share your screen and let me see.
Yes, ma'am. Sure. I mean, this is the process and the GNAT chart.
Wait,
Right over here, if I
can you maximize it and run the
yes, ma'am.
slideshow?
Sure.
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes.
I mean, this process, they have already calculated the average time, which is 11 ms, and I have seen some of the videos of round robin time calculation, and if I was following the process, I'm getting the answer as what 7 ms around. So,
Yes.
I don't know the exact process how to calculate this.
So you don't know how the average time or turnaround time is being calculated, right?
No, ma'am. Only in this process, only in round robin. CFS and other scheduling I have seen, I understood that, but in round robin I'm a bit confused.
Actually, we calculate the waiting time process wise, and after that we add all of them. Like process P1, it waited for 0 milliseconds for the first time. But here I think the time quantum, can anyone tell me what is the time quantum that they have taken? What is the time quantum?
Ma'am, 5.
Yes, 5 is the time quantum. So P1 is executed for first 5 minutes and then it is swapped out. P2 is executed for another 3 minutes and then P3. P3 was swapped out as soon as P4 comes into picture. So P4 executed for 2 minutes, again it is swapped out. So P1 from 15 to 25 milliseconds. P1 will get executed for 15 or 6. That means it will get executed in 3 parts. So you need to calculate first the waiting time of P1, waiting time of P2, waiting time of P3 and waiting time of P4 individually. Can anyone tell me how to do the calculations of waiting time individually? What is the waiting time of P1? How you will?
0.
No.
Ma'am, in the first time it is 0 because the P1 is entering in the first time. I mean, only in the first process.
I am asking the waiting time of P1. Whenever I am asking for the
Total.
calculation, yes, you will calculate. Look, P1 first waited for 0. You will write P1 is equal to 0 plus 15 plus 26 plus 31. Like plus 26 only. 31 you don't need to write because it continuously memory execution is there. So it will calculate the time of P1. Suraj, have you understood what I am trying to explain?
Yes, ma'am.
For P1, you will write 0 plus 15 plus 21 plus 21 divided by, no, not divided by. That comes to how much? Okay. Let me share this problem, or let me explain it with all of you. I want to just write down this process. Yes.
Ma'am, I don't have to add the 31.
No, you don't.
31 is not added.
Even
Okay, ma'am.
even I think 26 will also not be added, because after 21 millisecond, but after 21 millisecond, the process P1 is allocated continuously from 21 to 32, isn't it?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. So, Suraj, what you do, you don't need to do it in a hurry now. You will write the time of P1, P2, P3, P4. Okay. The waiting time
Okay.
of process P1, waiting time of process P2, waiting time of process P3, and waiting time of process P4. Calculate it individually and then divide by 4.
Ma'am, when I was checking it online, what they have did is they have they have first taken they have individually calculated the process timings, like
Yes. So
for
what?
only for
What?
P1,
Yes. What is the
only for
timing
P1,
for P1?
ma'am, they have done for any other value, not for this one. So, ma'am, this one I was calculating, so I got a time for P1 is 21 all over, according to their process. I don't know why they have taken the last timing also. Like P1 first enters at 0 seconds, then it waited for 0 seconds, so 0 - 0, then again it executed on 15. So last time, at what time it has been preempted? So they have 15 - 5. Then this goes on again and again. The guys that did this. Hello. कहाँ बाकी लोग? Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I was not
Yes,
able.
ma'am.
Yes, I was not able to listen properly. So what you are, Suraj? Can you do one thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you write it in a notebook or mail or somewhere and scan or just take a picture of that and send it
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
so that I can understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. That will be helpful for me, I think.
Okay.
So as to calculate. What you said, can you repeat again? What is the waiting time of process P1?
Ma'am, what they did is they first took the at what time the process enters and at what time the process preempted. So, as in the case of P1, first at very first time the P1 enters at 0 time and it has waited for 0 seconds. So they have given 0 - 0.
Okay.
Again, now the second time the P1 has entered in 15 seconds.
15
So
minus 5.
at that time. 15
Right.
- 5, yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Then
Yes,
again
yes.
21 - 15, then again 26 -
Yes,
21. They have did this.
Yes, this is the correct way. Right now I remember, because the process was allocated. The process P1 was allocated for 5 millisecond at a stretch. So for 15 minus 5, it will be 10 millisecond. Actually, the process P1 waited for 10 millisecond for the first time. Again, it was 15 to 20. It was allocated and the process P1 started execution at 21 milliseconds. So 21 minus 20, I suppose it comes to 1 millisecond. Right, Suraj?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes. And again, 26 minus, how much? 26 minus 20, no. And again,
26 - 21.
26 minus
Ma'am,
20.
26 - 21, then 31 - 26.
And then 32 minus 31.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So this will calculate the process waiting time of process P1. Similar is the process of calculating for process P2, P3, and P4, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, try to
32
calculate.
minus 31 will, ma'am, 32 minus 31 will not occur because that is the last process. At that
Last
time,
one, yes. Write down somewhere. What you do, write down somewhere the calculations.
ma'am, I have written that and I came with an answer of 7 milliseconds.
7 milliseconds. Send it to me,
Yes,
or
ma'am,
yes,
but they have given the waiting time is 11 milliseconds.
maybe
The picture.
from where you have taken. I need to solve out. Maybe they are wrong, or maybe you are wrong in calculations. Others, I will request
ma'am.
others to solve this problem also. What you do, Suraj, you write down the in one screen or in notebook, just write down this problem, process, burst time, and the NAT chart in one screen, and in another screen, or maybe in one page, write down the calculation. It will be easier to tally. Either in a screen, you took a word page, open a word page and paste this picture and then do all the calculations there. That will be helpful. In the next class, we will discuss that.
Ma'am, should I do it now? I can do it right now only because the picture
I don't think I have much time. Okay, do it fastly. If you have, do it fastly.
Ma'am, you can do one thing. You can see other people's PPT also. Till then, I'm doing this.
Okay. Anyone else who
5 minutes.
want to display their PowerPoint? Who have done? Who will share the next presentation? Shubham, Shankolita, and Suraj. All the three have completed. Moithili, Nabomita.
Yes, ma'am.
Please share your screen.
Yes, ma'am.
All of you have done or not?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, আমি করছি শেয়ার ম্যাম, একটু টাইম দেবেন?
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। তার মধ্যে কি আরেকজন কেউ করতে পারবে?
হ্যাঁ, করে নিক, আমি করছি।
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। না, তোমরা যদি কারো রেডি থাকে তাহলে তারা কেউ একটু শেয়ার করো।
ম্যাম, আমি বলবো?
বলো।
এক মিনিট।
বেশি টাইম আর বাকি নেই, বলে ফেলো, চটপট বলে ফেলো।
একটা মিনিট ম্যাম, শেয়ারটা করে নি, দেন আমি বলছি। একটু
আচ্ছা, করো।
আমার তো শেয়ার হয়েছে। হ্যাঁ,
দেখা যাচ্ছে।
ম্যাম বলবো?
হ্যাঁ, বলো।
হ্যাঁ, প্রসেস লাইফ সাইকেল মানে এটা একটা সাইকেল, মানে এক ধরনের সাইকেল যেটা দিয়ে আমরা যে কোনো ধরনের প্রসেস যখন কম্পিউটারে রান করে তখন প্রত্যেকটা প্রসেস একাধিক স্টেপের মধ্যে দিয়ে গিয়ে দেন সেটা মানে লাস্টে গিয়ে রান করে। তো সেই সবকটা স্টেপকে একসাথে আমরা প্রসেস লাইফ সাইকেল বলি। এই স্টেপ গুলো বিভিন্ন ধরনের, মানে যেমন FCFS, রাউন্ড রবিন বা অন্য যে কোনো সাইকেলের মানে প্রসেসের ক্ষেত্রে আলাদা আলাদা ভাবে স্টেপ গুলো হয়, বাট ওভারঅল এই স্টেপ গুলোই হয়, যার মধ্যে 5টা স্টেপ পড়ে। একটা স্টার্ট, রেডি, রানিং আর ওয়েটিং আর টার্মিনেটেড আর এক্সিট। হ্যাঁ, স্টার্ট মানে ম্যাম আমি না মানে একটু নিজের ভাষায় বলছি, তো
একদম বলো।
স্টার্টে হলো প্রসেস, যদি প্রসেস 1, 2 এরকম দুটো প্রসেস থাকে, তো যখন আমাদের প্রসেসটা স্টার্টে যাচ্ছে তখন প্রসেস 1 আর প্রসেস 2 দুটোই স্টার্টে প্রেজেন্ট রয়েছে, মিন্স মানে প্রসেস দুটো কাজ করার জন্য রেডি হয়ে রয়েছে। প্রসেস মানে দুটো প্রসেস যে এন্টার করেছি সেটাই হলো স্টার্টে বোঝানো হয়। রেডিতে হলো আমাদের প্রসেস 1 আর প্রসেস 2 সাইকেলটাতে রান করার জন্য রেডি। এবার যদি প্রসেস 1 আর প্রসেস 2 এর মধ্যে প্রসেস 1 ফার্স্টে এসছে, তো সেই অনুযায়ী প্রসেস 1টা ফার্স্ট রান করবে, মানে প্রসেস 1 এ যেটুকুনি টাইম লাগবে সেই টাইমটা নিয়ে প্রসেস 1টা ফার্স্ট কাজ করবে। এই একই সময় প্রসেস 2টাও রানিং এ যাবে, বাট যখন সে প্রসেস 2 দেখবে যে রানিং এ একটা প্রসেস অলরেডি কাজ করছে, তখন সেটা নিজের থেকে ওয়েট পজিশনটায় ওয়েট করবে যতক্ষণ না ফার্স্ট পজিশন প্রসেসটা কাজ করছে। প্রসেস 1 এর ফুল টাইম যেটা থাকবে সেই টাইমের পুরো কাজটা হয়ে যাওয়ার পর প্রসেস 1টা টার্মিনেটেড পোর্শনে চলে আসবে, আর যে প্রসেস 2টা রানিং পোর্শনে কাজ করতে করতে ওয়েটে চলে এসেছিল সে আবার রানিং পোর্শনে কাজ করবে। আর মানে ওটার কাজটা পুরোপুরি হলে দেন মানে এক একটা প্রসেসে যে পরিমাণ টাইমটা থাকবে কাজ করার, সেই প্রত্যেকটা কাজ করে দেন সেটা টার্মিনেটেড পোর্শনে যাবে।
ওকে, ভেরি গুড এক্সপ্লেনেশন, সবাই খুব ভালো বুঝিয়েছো। আচ্ছা, আজকে আর টাইম নেই তো আজকে মিটিংটা এন্ড করে দিচ্ছি। কে দেখাতে চাইছিলে বলো তো? মৈথিলি, তুমি দেখালে কি?
ম্যাম
না ম্যাম, আমি দেখালাম এটা।
হ্যাঁ, তো আমি একটা কথা বলছি, এখন মিটিংটা আমি এন্ড করে দিচ্ছি, ঠিক আছে? আর পরে আবার নেক্সট মানে শেষ হয়ে যাবে ক্লাসটা, নেক্সট ক্লাসে আবার দেখব বাকি যারা রয়ে গেছে। ঠিক আছে, ভালো লাগলো, সবাই পড়ছো দেখে খুব ভালো লাগলো। আই উইল এক্সপেক্ট দিস ফ্রম অল অফ ইউ। খুব ভালো লাগলো। ঠিক আছে, আমি মিটিংটা এন্ড করলাম। হ্যাঁ।